Welcome to the fabulous Las Vegas Rotary Club. For this Rotary year, President Barry Rassin asked us to be people of action and to be the inspiration. This club's continuing mission to teach youth to succeed through literacy, education, and life skills development is the inspiration that President Rassin asks of us, and the numerous local and international projects that we participate in and support are the action that he asks us to take. My name is Jim Cole, and I thank you for giving me the honor and the privilege for serving as the 96th president of what is, after considering all others, the best Rotary Club in the world. As we do every week at this time, anyone who's on Facebook and has their phone, I encourage you to take it, open it, and launch the live video feed to let the rest of the world know just how good we are. This day in 1865, the United States House of Representatives passed the 13th Amendment of the Constitution, which abolished slavery in the United States. In 1988, Doug Williams became the first African-American quarterback to play in the Super Bowl when his Washington Redskins defeated the Denver Broncos. And in 1990, we officially got the last laugh when the first McDonald's opened in Moscow. Just so you know, in New Mexico, females may not appear unshaven in public. I don't even know what to say to that one. At this time, I would like to invite Francesca Gilbert up.
Thank you, President Jim. Good morning. Good afternoon. Before I begin, I'd just like to throw out a quick personal note. If you haven't thought about doing Invocation before, I highly recommend it. It's really just such a great experience to stand in front of a room of people that share such common interests and common goals and ask for grace. And, you know, giving Invocation's kind of easy. You just have to really think about what you're grateful for. Our health, our friends, our family, our club. Today, I'm personally grateful that I was only doing 45 in a 45 when I drove by the traffic cop. Hello, Mr. Officer. I'm also really grateful to be a member of this club, as it's given me the good fortune to have so many amazing people in my life that I wouldn't have otherwise had. So, with that, I would like to ask you if you would please bow your heads in prayer. Dear Lord, thank you for every seat that has been filled here today. Thank you for each mind and heart that fills the presence of this room. Thank you for the talents and abilities of our members and the time that is generously given. Help us strengthen our confidence in who you have made us to be. Set us free from comparison so that we may work together to make a greater impact. Ready us to make every moment count. Enlighten our minds with truth. Inflame our hearts with love. Inspire our will with courage. Enrich our lives with service. Bless this meeting today and all those present, as well as the lives of those we will encounter afterward. Help us, Lord, to be a light of hope to those who are in need and serve as an example of your love and mercy. Amen.
Thank you. If I could invite Carrie Groh up.
We'll be singing God Bless America today. God bless America.
Thank you. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance. Thank you. Please be seated. Our Sergeant at Arms today is Kim Yoni, and we are going to start with the introduction of Rotarians and guests of Rotarians. And I ask that, as we always do, we save all of our applause until the end. So, Kim, I believe we have two visitors from Germany with us today.
All right. We have the distinct pleasure of having Tobias and Christian visiting us from Germany. We have a flag for them, and we'd ask them to say a couple of words.
Yes, hello. Thank you. My name is Christian. I'm from the Braunschweig club Heinrich der Löwe, which means Henry the Lion. He's the founder of Braunschweig, and I'm very happy to be here, so thank you for having me.
Welcome.
Yes, thank you for having me too. My name is Tobias. I'm from the same town, but a different club. It's called the Club Richmond. And Henry the Lion not only founded Braunschweig, but also Munich, where I was born. So there's a connection there. And we just visiting Vegas as good friends. And so we decided to join your club today and bring our warmest greetings from our home clubs.
Thank you and welcome.
Welcome. It's good to have you.
Okay, do we have other visiting Rotarians? Visiting Rotarians, if you could raise your hand, please. Seeing none, do we have Rotarians with guests today?
Oh, no, guest. Okay. We'll do guest. Okay. So I do have Saul. Yes. He's actually a news writer from Philippine Times. So he's hopefully he's gonna advertise our car, the Cuisine and Octane car show. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome.
Hi, I'm Karen Wisenhunt, and I'm pleased to introduce our guest to the club, Paul Kellogg.
Welcome.
Hello, Kim. I'm pleased to announce my guest today, Heidi Lee, who is a development director for our Lee School of Business. Welcome.
Welcome.
Hi, I have two guests with me today. First, Rose Faloco. She was with me last week. She's here again this week, and she has been proposed for membership. And my
Welcome
other
back.
guest, stand up, Kevin, is Kevin Cloney, and he's a dear friend of mine. He has a hot air balloon business, and he's taking a look at us today.
Welcome.
Hello, everyone. I'd like to introduce you to my guest who's joining me for lunch today, LaToya Johnson. She's from Gothic Landscape.
Welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone. I guess I'm at the guest table over here. So I'm Randy Donald. I have with me today my friend Paul Maxwell as a guest. So thanks, Paul, for attending.
Welcome.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, Rotarians and visiting Rotarians, guests of Rotarians, and everybody who came in today. I'm Rich Robledo, and today as my guest, I've got Joel Martinez, a new realtor with Acclaim Real Estate, one of the top brokerages in the Valley. So if you need to buy or sell a home, please give Joel or myself a call.
Holy cow.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming down.
That, you are...
Joel, would you like to say something?
First of all, although you are just nothing but a visiting Rotarian, thanks for coming this quarter. You can consider yourself fine for that over-the-top promotion.
I think that deserves a double fine.
Good afternoon, Tom Thomas, and I have my son-in-law, Jake White, with me, and he's in insurance, and I'm going to leave it at that.
Welcome. Do we have any other guests of Rotarians with us today? Guests? Nope, seeing none. Okay, I'd like to introduce at head table. Seated directly in front of me is Andy Kuniyuki. Did I get that right? Yep. Okay. And our speaker is Anthony Ruiz, and his assistant is Amber Lopez Lassiter. My apologies. I'd like to thank, could you join me in the round of applause for all of our visitors and guests, please? I'd like to thank all of our Rotarians who helped today. The setup was Doug Grant and Stephen Linder, Sidra Kane, and Janet, my apologies, Kara Groh was our greeter today. Invocation was by Francesca Gilbert. Songleader was Carrie Groh. The teardown is Michael Williams and Stu Lipoff. And our Sergeant at Arms is Kim Yoni. Our photographer today is Jim Tucker. Tickets is Marie Walsh. All things technical are Kirk Holmes and Stu Lipoff. And Facebook, Adam Homey and Francesca Gilbert. At this time, could I lean on you, Kirk, for our video? Stu. So our polio pig, the Swiner, is making its rounds again today. Folks, we are really this close, honestly. And we've talked and looked at some of the videos. We're almost there to eradicating this disease. So please donate what you have in your pockets. Bill and Melinda Gates will be more than happy to match it 2-to-1. It is a fantastic program and something you'll be able to look back on and be super proud that you and all those other people that we saw in the that particular video, and all around the world, we're all working together to eradicate this disease from the planet. So keep going. At this time, I would like to bring Jim Tucker to the front for our annual Super Bowl pick, and I need to give him a card. It's a 2.
So every year we sell out our board, our football board. It raises $2,500 for our foundation, and we have $2,500 in prizes. And so what we do is we run a random number generator to determine what numbers go in all 4 quarters for each team. So Jim pulled a 2. I'll just run a sample of this so you can see how it works. And then, like right now, I've got it set for 10. So as you can see, the numbers will be randomly changing. This is going to go through 10, and then I'll put in 2, and then Randy and Jim Hunt will put the numbers on the board, and then we'll pass it around so everybody knows what they got. I also will email it to all the people that bought squares. There you are, Randy.
Thank you very much. Do you guys have those numbers off of the? Do we need to leave them up for you for you guys? Sure. Okay. At this time, I'd like to invite past president Randy Campanelli to the front.
Thank you. So this is our quarterly report of the Rotary Foundation. I just want to emphasize to everybody that you need to remember that we have two foundations in our club. We have the International Foundation, which is the Paul Harris Fellow and Polio Plus. Now, your monthly contributions, however you pay it, that actually goes into the foundation, and then it goes right out at the end of the month. So those are restricted funds. And then we have the annual program funds. And the annual program funds are funded in two ways. The first way is that if you list it in your annual contribution report, then that goes into the fund. And then the second thing is 3% of your permanent Rotary Las Vegas Rotary Club Foundation, 3% of that at the end of the fiscal year, which is March, and then it's by Nevada law, it's smoothed by taking the last 3 years' numbers of that date. So it's a smooth number, so it doesn't go up and down with the markets. So that number then also gets distributed to the incoming president. And so, President Jim, you received right at around $55,000, which was the distribution. And so I've talked before to the club about how we redid the investment plan with an investment policy statement and all that stuff. It's all based on Nevada law, which is the Uniform Act that's been adopted by most states. So, and it's a perpetuity fund, and it's designed for the long term. Some of you may say, well, how did you do in the last quarter? Well, we were down in the last quarter. We've recouped a lot of that back as of our last board meeting with our managers, who are good managers. So I just want to remind you, this is long term, and we're looking for a portion of the portfolio to be long-term growth. And we know things like growth investments go up and down, but in the long run, historically, they've gone up. So just remember that the next time we get a real bear market, all right? That's point number one. We have two different funds. All right, point number two is that we have what's called the Tiberti Fellow. And the Tiberti Fellow is a designation you get when you give cumulatively $1,000 or more to the Las Vegas Rotary Foundation. Not international, that's the Paul Harris Fellowship. This is for the Rotary Foundation. Now, we will never say that you should give to one over the other. It's all important, and we're all in on Polio Plus. But you can see the benefits of having a growing, especially in perpetuity, a growing permanent foundation that can, on an ongoing basis, fund what our club determines to be worthy causes. I forgot to point out that the club board directs where those charitable contributions go. Legally, the foundation board has to ratify that. In other words, we give the official okay, and that's by law, because it's a separate legal entity from the club. It's the Rotary Club of Las Vegas Foundation. So in my knowledge, I've never seen the board of the foundation ever even question what the club wants to do, because they're all appropriate. All right, finally, we have our 100th anniversary coming up in 5 years. So we have a plan in place, and the plan is to be ready in 4 years. And so you as the club already have $60,000 that is in a short-term fund, very, very, safe investments, insured CDs, and government money market fund. And it is the intention of the incoming president, and I believe the president-elect, to carve out of their budget $10,000 so that by the time we are a year ahead of our 100th anniversary, that we'll have $100,000. Now, in our last board meeting last week, there was some question, I guess, through the district governor. I missed his meeting, where there may be some matching grants. So obviously, we're researching that. So even though we're 4 years away from wanting to know what we want to do to make a big splash, we still need to start thinking about it. We don't have to have a decision now. Things change in 4 years, but we do have to start thinking about it. As you know, the junior achievement has been one of the things that we're obviously looking at, but we also want to look at more things. By way of example, I will tell you And Steve Casey, I forget if it was our 75th anniversary or 80th anniversary, but we wanted to do something meaningful. And so the board, in conjunction with the foundation board, decided to fund a railroad cottage, which is now at the old town at the Springs Preserve. One of those homes was courtesy of the Rotary Club of Las Vegas, your club. And I know Mr. Gordon is working on, past President Michael is working on getting the plaque put up. So that's where we are. I don't think we have time for questions, but believe me when I tell you, it's your foundation. Obviously, all members are invited to the foundation board meetings. If you have any questions, just ask, and we're an open book. Does anybody have any questions? Our president says I have time for one or two. No questions. Perfect. Can I just say one more thing? I do want to say this seriously. So there's a young man who's undergoing spinal surgery right now. His father was an Air Force colonel. He's retired now. Their whole family has defended me and my family for decades. So it's a question, number one, if he lives, and he's an 18-year-old boy, his son, their son, and it's a question of if he'll be paralyzed, which he is now. So however you think about things, according to your own beliefs, think about him today.
Thank you. Thank you for the update and sharing. We have just about 3 or 4 minutes for a little bit of fellowship, and then I'll be back with a further round of announcements. Okay, we had quite a bit to do today. Just like to remind everybody that we have our membership cards that Stu Lipoff made for us. They're right at the badges, so when you check out today, grab one, and so you have a way to invite somebody back to see how great our club is. The district gala is going to be Saturday, March 16th. It's at the World Furniture Center, right at the Spaghetti Bowl. So it's right in our backyard, so I encourage everybody to sign up and go. District Conference is May 3rd and 4th. It's in Anaheim, California. And for those of you with kids, there are programs for them. And, of course, Disneyland is right there as well. And the Corzine Super Build is on May 18th. Could you take the microphone over to Jackie Thornhill, please?
Hi, everyone. I just want to give you an update on our annual fundraiser. You all should have gotten the email that we've partnered up with Spread the Word Nevada. Yay! That gives us, yay! So we are going to donate some proceeds, but it'll be a percentage, so we don't know what that is yet. But that is going to be a great partnership for us to draw some people from the outside to come to the event. Please get some of these updated save the date cards that are on the table over there. They have the logo for Spread the Word Nevada on there, so please get them and pass them around. We want to sell tickets outside of this club. And that brings me to the next. Tickets will be available starting next Thursday. We're having the tickets printed now. They're $60 each. So just as in the raffle fundraiser, we're asking each of us to buy tickets, sell them to family and friends, co-workers. We have budgeted for a minimum of 300 attendees. Ryan says that his event space will hold 1,000. Imagine if we sold 1,000 tickets, what kind of revenue we would generate for the foundation if we did that. So let's everybody get involved in selling the tickets. And I also want to remind everyone, please share the Facebook posts on your walls, on your timelines, and ask your friends to share. That's some very inexpensive called $0 marketing that we need to get the word out, because we will be purchasing Facebook ads and billboards later on, but right now let's take advantage of marketing through $0 with our Facebook posts. So please go on Facebook and share and like those Facebook posts and send them through your Facebook timelines, please.
Thank you. If you could talk to us a little bit about the foundation matching points as well.
And the second thing we have is we are still on the foundation match. We started it last week. Some of you have already taken advantage. If you're interested in stepping up in your Paul Harris Fellowship level, please get a hold of me, and I will prepare a form, and I will give you how much you need to get to the next level. Just get a hold of me by email or phone, please.
Thank you. So to summarize, please use Facebook to spread the word. I couldn't resist it. Could you take the microphone to Jamel, please, to talk to us about RILA?
So the Las Vegas Rotary is sponsoring 12 students who are like 10 to 11 graders. So it's going to be held at Big Bear, California. So it's a 3-day weekend. And also, we're also looking for facilitators for the RILA workshop. So if you have any questions, you can actually go directly to the website of District 5300 or contact Bill Houghton, who is our Director for Youth Literacy. Thank you.
Great, thank you. While you're there, could you just walk to Marie Walsh?
She's not here.
My apologies. Okay, so I will do it for Marie Walsh. And just a reminder that we're doing Breakfast with Books. It's coming up next week. And I'm sorry, 2 weeks. In 2 weeks. And sign-ups are in the Green Book. It's been a great program, and it is, supports our core mission statement. Kim, while you're standing there, could you give us a recap of the Mob Museum?
Oh, excellent. Thank you. So last night, a few of us
Caroline, and it's not even St. Patrick's Day yet, so. At this time, I'd like to invite up Andy, who's going to further introduce our speaker to us.
Well, fellow Rotarians, Nevada State is in the house. I'm going to share with you a simple secret that professors use. I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to answer honestly. And the way you do it is you put your hand right here by your throat. And if the answer is yes, you raise your thumb. That way, only I can see it, no one else will see it. Okay? So, how many of you understood and understand that Nevada State is the youngest institute in the Nevada system of higher education? Put your hand and tell me whether you know that. Okay? Now, the next. How many of you know that Nevada State is the second fastest growing institute in the entire United States? Not many. Okay? We are the second fastest growing institute, not because of marketing, it's word of mouth. Students are telling family and friends about Nevada State. That is what brings people to the college. We may be the youngest, but we are absolutely the best. We have Anthony to prove it because he used to work at Las Vegas Global Economic Alliance. He understood that to get the word out to the local government and our state government was so important so people can then celebrate Nevada State College. So he wanted to join a real winner, so now he's a part of Nevada State College. So Anthony.
Thank you so much. Okay. My name is Anthony Ruiz, and before I get started, I just want to mention I moonlight as a real estate agent. My card will be here afterwards, so I'm kidding. I'm not kidding. I see some familiar faces here. I think Dr. Michael Gordon might have stepped out, but I also worked with him at the Las Vegas Global Economic Alliance. So, I know he's over at the Public Education Foundation now, and they're lucky to have him over there. Thank you, Andy, for the introduction. It's very gracious of you. I'm also joined here today by our Nevada State College's Chief of Staff, Amber Lopez Lassiter. Amber is excellent, and she has agreed to do a couple things. She's going to join me to help answer some questions at the end, and then if I get out of line, she's under explicit instructions to cut the mic off, so that may happen here. So it's my pleasure to be here today and talk to you about such an important topic that's really at the core of the mission of this organization. I've attended here as a guest, and so it's kind of coming full circle. It's great to come here and to actually be able to present and share. So quick topic here, a little bit about Nevada State College. Andy got into it, and I know this is a smart and informed room, but it's always good to just kind of set a baseline of where we're at and what's new and different at the college. And so what a better place to start than with our students. Our students have been described in many different ways, and if you kind of do a search or check in the media or attend, they might be called non-traditional, they might be called first generation, all sorts of things, but I like to call them gritty. Gritty, it's one of my favorite words I like to use. Which means to me they've overcome lots of different obstacles along the way to pursue higher education. Students are very diverse. Our Nevada State College is slightly more diverse than UNLV, which was recently named the most diverse university in America, so take that for what you will. Some of our students, again, going back to being gritty, they take the bus an hour, 2 hours from the northwest parts of the valley to get to campus several times a week. I don't know about you, but if they were an educator, a nurse, a social worker, and I knew that that's kind of some of the experiences they came from, I want to hire them and have that person in my workforce. And the feedback we get is great from the community once they get into the workforce. And I think the thing that I want to share, and Andy alluded to it, is they're multiplying. You may not know, Nevada State College now has over 4,000 alumni. So, you know, an institution that's the youngest in NSHE is already up to 4,000 alumni in a short period of time. And as you're about to find out, we're going to keep that growing exponentially. So what else do you need to know about the college? Well, how about where is it? Get this question a lot. You could see that little arrow pointing way, way down there. That's where we're located at. You could actually see we're closer to the core area of Boulder City, maybe downtown Boulder City, than we are to the core of the valley. So you could kind of see some of the transportation issues you might have as a student or faculty coming from the northwest parts of the valley. Couple other things here. The Chronicle of Higher Education, as Andy cited, actually named us for 2 years in a row as the second fastest growing institution. You don't have to look super hard to find Nevada State College on here. We're number 2 on the list. I have no idea what's happening at University of Hawaii West Oahu. They are crushing us. But other than them, maybe Andy could tell us about what's happening at Oahu. But we're number 2 for 2 years in a row. So Nevada is home to the second fastest growing four-year institution in America. We are a Hispanic serving institution. There are several in NSHE. But we did something special. We were the first in the state to receive a grant from them, which actually helps encourage more Hispanic students to enter the teaching workforce. I don't want to go through this whole slide. I know the text is kind of small on this, but you could kind of see the different trajectory that the college has been going on in this time. You know, 1998 is when Henderson leaders came together to envision a college for teachers and nurses. You can kind of see where we are today. The thing I will share is in this year, in 2019, we're set to open on-camping housing units, about over 300 different units, which is going to help with student success. It's going to help with transportation, maybe increase our statewide mission, might be able to achieve, and a certain portion of that is going to be reserved for families. You know, and there's a lot of exciting things happening. I'm surprised Andy didn't mention our computer science program that's going to be starting this fall, which we're really excited about. And so the college keeps growing. A couple other just quick stats I want to get out the way, and we could kind of talk about teachers and teacher education. So about 5,000 students. Again, another number that people, if you haven't really checked in a while or first learning, is kind of a surprising number. This number here, 14%. Since just the last year, we've grown. And we're getting ready for a next legislative session. Since we were at the last session 2 years ago, we've grown by 30%. Huge numbers. While doing that, we've maintained a pretty small class size, about 23:1 is a ratio. For a lot of our students, that's really important. We are very female. I don't know what to say. It's 76% of our students are female. I think a lot of that makes sense in terms of teachers and nurses, but that trend is actually consistent throughout. So it's kind of an interesting phenomenon happening. I mentioned the diversity and the first-generation college students. Another quick thing back to this map, if I kind of zoom in a little bit, you know, this is the space we take up today on campus. And if you haven't come to campus, I highly encourage you to come check it out. We did a master plan several years back, and this is partly conceptual, but it kind of gives you an idea of the overall effect. You know, we're master planned out for 25,000 students. So as we continue to build out and continue to grow, this is what the future of Nevada State College looks like. Okay, and now to teachers. So, this is something really important to me. I'm a Las Vegas local and product of the Clark County School District. And, does anyone have a great teacher that helped them in their life? What about a bad one? Kind of remember that too. Let's keep with the good ones though. So if everyone could just kind of take a minute and just think about a teacher that impacted them. I think we all intuitively understand the importance of teachers, but when you think about your own story, it really kind of brings home really what we're trying to move forward. We know teachers have an impact. In fact, there's a study by the National Commission of Teaching in America's Future that said, just read from it, students who have a highly effective teachers for 3 years in a row score as much as 50 percentile points higher on achievement on tests than those who had ineffective teachers 3 years in a row. So 50%. So again, we know our teachers are having an impact. Unfortunately, I don't think this is quite shocking, but Nevada does have a shortage of teachers. There's all sorts of reasons why, and we could maybe get into this a little bit. But really where we're at is that we have the Clark County School District. It's the 5th largest school district in the country, and they're trying to meet the needs of 320,000 students. The demands placed on the Clark County School District are immense. Clark County's consistently been one of the fastest growing counties for a long, long time. And in 2018, Nevada was ranked as the top fastest growing state. And then of course we have a lot of the population in Southern Nevada. There's lots of headlines you've seen, what the teacher shortages are. There's common headlines we see all the time. I won't go through all of these here. Just some numbers. So what does that really look like in terms of an actual number? So we're about 42% short per year of the amount of teachers that we need to put into the workforce. And again, this is, what is the minimum that we need to produce. Is it the projector? Okay. So we're 42% short, and there's some other states that are trying to overproduce on this number for the reason because they're counting on things like retirements, attritions, things like that. Of course, we have the population again in the South. The magic number, this is according to DETR, the most recently available government statewide data is 1,260, just under 900 in Southern Nevada that we need to put out. And so we're only producing 42% of that. Enter Nevada State College, and kind of going back to our mission and what we're trying to accomplish and what we're trying to really ramp up. We already have the largest pre-nursing program in the state. We were able to accomplish that over the course of a few years, and we're trying to grow out our teaching program in a similar manner. There's no silver bullet that's going to, fix this. We didn't get here overnight. But I think that this is, our building and the growing out of our school of education is going to go a long ways towards growing our own teachers and our own educators. So just real quick, we want to expand our existing school of education, about 80 graduates right now, just under that per year. We're going to strategically educate teachers in areas that are high and critical importance to the state. I'll get into that a little later. We want to construct a new facility that's going to be a flagship facility for teacher preparation around the state. And then it's also going to, we hope, as a community, move forward and really elevate the profession over time. And if approved by the legislature this session in 2019, it would open in 2021. Quick video. So you're not just hearing from me, you can hear from our students as well. So I hope this works. Let's try this out. Magic. Let me see.
My name is Mo Turbin, and I am a special education major here at Nevada State College.
My name is Sylvia Ponce. This is my 4th year at Nevada State College, and I am an elementary.
You want to turn that up? You ready? Okay.
My name is Mo Turbin, and I am a special education major here at Nevada State College.
My name is Sylvia Ponce. This is my 4th year at Nevada State College, and I am an elementary education major.
My name is Paige Opp. I'm a secondary education and history major. My favorite thing about the education program here is just the wonderful people I've met. The professors here they are absolutely incredible.
I would say the best part is working with the faculty. They are some of the best people, and they really model what good teaching is in their own classrooms. After graduation, I have a lot of passions, education being my #1, but I definitely want to give back to the community that raised me, which is Clark County.
After I graduate, I hope to stay in CCSD. I hope to become an elementary school teacher, teaching the future of Nevada.
I think a new building in general is going to be great for everyone here on this campus, for everyone to see that the college is growing and expanding. For education majors specifically, I think it's going to make a really big difference in where people see themselves when they go to Nevada State.
We're such a small campus, and I think that this would be a great addition to Nevada State.
Okay, I love our students. We really want through that to emphasize different priorities that are important to the state. So just kind of really reinforce that through this new building. But what this building is going to allow us to do too, and I'll get into this a little bit later, is grow the rest of our campus, right? So we're going to add 66,000 square feet of net new space to our School of Education, be just for that. We're going to actually launch and grow 3 new academic programs, which I'll cover briefly, and then have a speech pathology clinic and an early childhood education center, which are going to serve as multi-purpose room where students can actually get hands-on clinical level experience as they're going and getting ready for the teaching profession. So really to get that hands-on practical experience. Nevada State College is about 39 to 43% less than the universities. It's no secret that, at least currently teachers aren't, it's not maybe the highest paid profession there is, and so it's important that they have a lower debt burden for those educators. Our college is incredibly local. They stay and they work in the district. In terms of community engagement, so we're actually going out and reaching into the high schools and maybe soon to be the middle schools. We're actually training different teachers so that they could identify students at the high school level that may be interested in teaching. And we're in 4 schools now. We're launching a 5th one soon, and we want to expand that out further. We want to, if we're going to build a teacher pipeline, we got to start early and maybe even reach down to the middle school to identify students who are interested in the teaching profession. So that's really built into the program and what we're doing now. And then also matching the diversity of CCSD. Southern Nevada is a rather diverse region, and so is our college. And so we think that's important. Just a quick aside on this, there's lots of research out there, but I found this other day that I think really sums up pretty well about the diversity. Having a teacher in the classroom that looks like you, as serving as a mentor, I think is a great multiplying effect, and that's something that we bring through wrapping up our teacher education program. This is a rendering of the School of Education itself. This is the front end of it. So you kind of see, get a feel what it looks like. And so why build this building now? There's a lot of legislative priorities that for the state to consider. So a couple things. Nevada State College has grown really fast. The last 2 buildings that the college has built, were the students approved funds to do that. So we've kind of already utilized funds to grow our campus, and we've kind of already tapped that spigot. The last building we got that was fully funded from the state was in 2008. So it's been a while since then. As Andy mentioned, it's great for economic development. We understand the importance it have to students directly, but businesses really care about our education system. And why? It's because they have families that if they move here and they invest in here, they want to know that their kids could go to a highly effective school. So that's a challenge. That presents a challenge. When I worked at LVGEA, we came up with a study that said of the companies that talked with us that were looking at investing, creating jobs in the communities, are good paying jobs, by the way, 35% of them said no to us specifically because of education. And that's just the ones that talk to us. I'm sure that number is much higher, but that's a little harder to measure. Then the 4th point here is we're out of space. President Patterson was joking with me, I thought at the time, but he told me I got the last office when I started recently, and I've come to find out he wasn't really joking. We are really at capacity. A number we've had since last year now, and I've checked this and we've checked this a lot. It's true, 72% increase in freshmen since last year. Huge. So the word is out, as Andy said, as Bart has said many times. So as those students continue, they're going to have bigger and bigger classes, and it's just going to make more demand. So we are definitely, looking at all options for space, and the School of Education is one of them. Some numbers. I like numbers. Beyond just some of the intuitive types of impacts, addressing the teacher shortage, economic development, things like that, it's going to have a broader community impact. So this room and everyone watching on Facebook is actually seeing some of these numbers for the first time. So we're working on a study with applied analysis to really put some data behind what the impact of the School of Education building specifically is going to be. There's a multiplying effect. Something that is really important is that as some of these other bigger projects are winding down in 2020, 2021, this project will be wrapping up. So, I think it's just good to build some redundancy and resiliency in different industries, particularly construction. So I think you could see some of the different economic drivers and outputs here in this slide. So this is a interesting slide here that I'll get into. So what's the actual input? What's the effect? How many teachers, right? We get asked this question a lot. So we are in the process of adding new education programs. And at full capacity, the education building is going to just about triple the size of our number of our graduates. For context, this would put us right behind UNLV as second in the state in terms of producing teachers. These are fully licensed teachers. So, this is something that I know I've talked with some legislators, other community members. It feels like this should happen quicker. We want this now. We call it Nevada Teachers Now, but it takes time. These are humans. These are students that are coming through. It's just people development, but the multiplying impact. Think about how many students they will positively impact over the course of their careers, right? Of a year and their career. So that's really what we're looking at doing here to increase that. We've got tremendous support from the community. The legislature gave us some funds to plan. You saw that fancy rendering there in the front, so we're kind of vested with them. The Board of Regents prioritized this project, this building, as the #1 priority. We're included in State Public Works Board, Southern Nevada Forum, and then also we're doing a fundraising campaign, which we'll have some exciting announcements on soon to fund things like scholarships and other programs. The business community has been very supportive of us. All these groups, among others, have endorsed us in growing the number of fully licensed teachers. And then you may have seen this recently. Governor Sisolak included funding for the School of Education building in his executive budget. And then recently at an event with the Nevada Independent, he made a pretty strong statement, I thought, in terms of getting the building in Nevada State. So that's what I have. You can follow me on Twitter here, and I'm happy to take any questions that you all may have on this.
Hi. First, I just want to mention I've had the opportunity to be a guest lecturer at the college several times. It's a great school, great students, great teachers. So thank you for that. I want to ask a little bit about just sort of when you talked about the education building and the opportunity to create new teachers. One thing I was thinking about was what kind of demand there is, as you mentioned, with education not being the best paying field. How much demand is there to take on those? How many new students potential is there within the county, kids who are interested in going down that path? How much do you see pulling people from other states as a part of that, filling that school?
That's a good question. So there's been interesting trends nationwide of less people going into the teaching profession. Right? I don't have all the data here for this presentation, but it's tough. So that's a challenge that we're working, trying to get through as a community. I was pleased to see that there's been some preliminary discussions about having at least some short-term increases for teacher pay. So that could be a positive sign. But what is interesting, and our dean could probably talk more about this, or dean of education, is that there's been lots of discussions about how do we elevate teaching as a profession overall. That's something that I think Nevada State College can be a part of. I think it's something that we as one institution can't alone change. But if we're honest, the country and the state's got to figure this out. We need teachers, we need schools. So I think that there's a lot of different community groups and discussions happening. It'll certainly be part of the conversation. We have some things that we want to do at the college to increase success. So we have, so the throughput of the teachers that are already coming in. One of the things you want to do is more aggressively market our teaching program. And again, because of the cost, we think that that's going to be effective. And then just remove barriers. Things like articulation agreements, having people being able to transfer. We're focused on growing locals. I think in one of the earlier slides, they had something about recruiting teachers from other countries, things like that. I think we need teachers at all levels, but we're focused on growing teachers here that will stay here. And I think if our growth has been any indication, and just the need being so great, I think we're well positioned to do that. But it's a really interesting conversation that it has to keep going on.
Yeah, I'm curious. You mentioned obviously the education and nursing components in an upcoming computer science. Are there any other majors, or are those the three available?
No, so we are a full four-year institution. I want to say we have 50 majors and minors in total. Those are some of the most popular. When you look at we're built off with Cal State model to be the middle tier of education. So we are not a community college. We're a full four-year institution. We have a couple masters, or actually launching our first one in speech pathology. But we have programs in business, psychology, biology, nursing, education, and lots more on that. So, and also computer science is actually branching off into many different areas. Dr. Kuniyuki could probably go through. He has a big program in liberal arts and sciences. So it's a full four-year college with many choices. Yeah.
Yes, sir. I just want to tell you how the Nevada State College worked for my family. I called my son about 16 years ago. He's a young adult. I said, "How's it going?" He says, "I'm bummed out." I said, "Why?" He says, "Because my girlfriend Amy is moving back to Massachusetts." And I said, "Why?" And I said, "When's she leaving?" "Tomorrow." I said, "Why?" "Because UNLV wouldn't take her junior college transfers." Now, in UNLV's defense, we were just named Tier 1 university, top 3%, but that comes with some costs like, standards that can't be broken. And so I called Judy Steele at the PEF, and I said, "Who do I call?" She said, "I'll call you back." I called my son in the early afternoon. In the late afternoon, my future daughter-in-law had a meeting with a counselor at Nevada State. They accepted, because your mission is to graduate teachers. It's not rankings and research, which is the critical need. And she got her master's with my wife, who's a teacher. She's not teaching now because she's raising two little girls. And when the 3-year-old starts going to school, she'll get back to teaching. And if you members want proof, I'm more than happy to show you pictures of my granddaughters. But I'm a little obnoxious about that. So thank you.
Thank you. No, I appreciate the comments. Sure, yeah. No, that was great. I think what's interesting, I haven't been at Nevada State College as long as Andy or some others, but when people know about Nevada State, they love Nevada State. And they have had good experiences. So I appreciate the comments on that. And you're absolutely right. We are, we're not a research institution. We're not trying to become one. We're focused on a couple core areas and being good at that. So I appreciate the story to go along with that.
Yeah. So this room is filled with people who have subject matter expertise that well exceeds what's needed for K through high school, but they don't have the official licensing requirement. Is there anything the school is doing for the alternative path to licensing? The home study part of it is brutal, and although the state provides a way to do that, you could easily find resources, people who are probably competent to teach, but don't meet the official requirements.
Right. So this is a good question. Our dean, again, I think he can answer this better than me, but I'll try. So this alternative licensure has come up a lot. If you counted all of the alternative licensure teachers who didn't follow, the traditional path, the school district's the largest producer of teachers in the state, really. Now the question becomes: is that the best route? I don't know. There's different. People can debate that. I mean, we certainly have a pressing need. We do some of that at Nevada State College. We certainly know that. To be sustainable long term, we're looking at fully licensed teachers, things like that. There's also been conversations, what they're calling, I think, paraprofessionals, people that have been in education or have subject matter expertise and might be able to get them on a pathway that could actually do some good. So this is another conversation. I think it's a part of the answer at Nevada State and the whole community, but I don't think it's our core focus of what we're focusing on, but it's a piece of it. You want to add to this, Andy?
It's going to give you a perspective. Clark County School District loses 3,000 teachers every year. UNLV, UNR, Nevada State graduate 1,300 every year. We collectively cannot even meet the demand for Clark County School District all by itself. When CCSD starts the school year, about 1,000 seats are not occupied by a qualified teacher. At the end of the school year, that number drops down to about maybe 400. And then they start again. 3,000 are gone. You see, this is the biggest need that we see in the state. In the 1950s, the top 1/3 of high school graduates went into education. Unfortunately, now it's flipped, the exact opposite. We have a big task in front of all of us. This is the most important need that we see across the entire state. So while Nevada State is known for nursing and education, that's true. There are more graduates from my school than the other two schools combined. And it's not because that the other kinds of degrees are more exciting. We absolutely need far more teachers, and now you see why.
Why are you losing so many teachers? Is it because of the gaming aspect?
It's everything. It's you are at a point of retiring. The unfortunate thing is you get into teaching as a profession, there is a high turnover for the brand new teachers that collectively comes out to 3,000 walking out of Clark County School District every year. And you see, as I just pointed out, all three Nevada System of Higher Education institutes can't even meet the gap for Clark County by itself.
Just to add
Why,
to that.
let me ask a question. Why are you losing 3,000 teachers a year?
So the data that Dr. Kuniongi cited was the Clark County School District overall. I think some of that is natural. You know, there's retirements, things like that. But so just to add about, you know, give some more context to this. So, you know, some of these jobs are hard. You know, it's hard to be a teacher. Some, not all the teachers, but some of the teachers face really difficult situations when they go into the classroom. You know, there's a lot of English language learners. That is a challenge in a lot of different classrooms. I met with Assemblywoman Selena Torres, who also teaches at El Dorado High School, and she said there's half of her students, you know, are not proficient in English. Now she speaks Spanish, but imagine teaching in this mixed setting. That's difficult. And then also it's kind of cumulative build. You know, if teachers don't have the enough of them, and it makes it kind of more weight all the way around. So, you know, this is a big topic. Again, I think it's possible to make real headway in this, but it's going to be a true long-term community sustained effort to turn it around. And, you know, we've had some great, really positive conversations with the new superintendent about how we might work together more collaboratively to fix this. So appreciate the questions on that.
Anyone else?
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for coming and talking and sharing with us. And I would like to present to you the Share What You Can Award, which we give to our speakers. And this is, we're going to give a meal to a needy veteran in your name. And so thank you so much for coming. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
As we leave here today, let us go forth into the world in peace. Be of good courage. Hold fast that which is good. Render to no one evil for evil. Strengthen the faint-hearted. Support the weak. Help the afflicted. Honor all persons. Love and serve each other, rejoicing in the fellowship of Rotary. Be people of action. Be the inspiration. Meeting adjourned.